Follow us on a journey through the Guadalupe Mountains. We will discover environments ranging from the Sabkha to the Basin. We will uncover the reef that formed and prospered through the Permian and bring to life the Basin evolution. This is the Guadalupe Mountains, from Sabkha to Basin. The Guadalupe Mountains formed through a collision of South America with North America around 250 million years ago during the Permian. A vast ocean covered much of southeastern New Mexico and West Texas, allowing for the growth of calcareous sponges, algae and other marine organisms over the millions of years to follow. Through time, the ocean floor began to subside, and the reef continued to grow. A broad, shallow lagoon 20 to 50 miles wide formed behind the reef. Here, a back reef formed from sediments deposited into this lagoon. On the front end of the reef, where the slope becomes steep, a forereef formed. Now, let's look at each environment closer and discover what deposits and fossils can be found in each location. Looking at the Sabkha, or the coastal end of the Guadalupe Mountains, we find aeolian process dominate the deposition. We find red siltstone and evaporites, mostly gypsum with some halite. The red color is due to oxidation. As we continue into where water once was, we reach the shelf which contains the lagoon and tidal flats. These environments are dominated by dolomite. You can find these shelf environments between the Sabkha and the back reef. While dominated by relatively flat topography and structures, some ripples can be found in areas of more turbulent waters, or where debris fell from the back reef and onto the shelf. Heading basinward, we reach the back reef. The back reef contains thickening sediments, which consist of interbedded siliciclastics, dipping toward the reef. In the back reef, tepe structures have been preserved. The small, irregularly spaced, chevron or V-shaped are formed from the density difference between the clay and silt layers, which allows the clay layer to push upward. Head deeper into the water, we find the reef. The reef, dominated by carbonates, such as limestone and dolomite, contains many fossils. Here you can find calcareous sponges, bryozoan, fusulinids, and algae. Further deeper, we find the forereef. The highest peak in the Guadalupe Mountains, El Capitan, is composed entirely of forereef limestone. Early settlers used this peak as a landmark to find the Guadalupe Pass. Here, fossils begin to be broken apart due to their deposition from the above reef. The journey from reef to forereef does not allow for much full-body preservation of these reef-building organisms. Finally, down the slope, we reach the basin. Early basin deposits can be found at Bone Springs. Reef sediments are found to interfinger with basin sediments due to the cyclic sea level fluctuations. These basin deposits are primarily siliciclastics, which indicates long, anastomosing channels covered the basin floor. Over the 10 million span of Guadalupean time, the basin decreased in size, and further sedimentation blocked the connection to the Permian Ocean. This lack of influx of seawater left this basin as the last site of deep water sedimentation and massive reef growth. The sea shrank, and evaporation of the water caused the remaining water to become even saltier. The reef-building organisms began to die. Soon, debris from rivers buried the seabed, along with the reef, under thousands of feet of sediments. The once great reef of the Permian was entombed for millions of years. Eventually uplift, combined with wind and rain erosion, unearthed the more resistant carbonates of the Great Reef. This is what we see now as the Guadalupe Mountains.